This will be for the con-assignment Systems of Equations with Elimination Challenge. So there's two things that you're allowed to do when you have two equations and two unknowns. You can multiply or divide either equation by any number except 0, and you can add or subtract the equations from each other. Okay, the goal is to get one variable to drop out. So that is when you add or subtract the equations from each other. You want one variable to drop out. So here, of course, we have two equations and two unknowns. And like I said, we want one variable to drop out. Without getting into fractions, there is no one number you can multiply the top or bottom equation by to get a variable to drop out. All right, so I'll show you how to take care of this. We're going to multiply both sides of both equations by a number. Now, since we have a 6 here and a 4 here, I am going to multiply this one by 4. And I'm going to multiply this equation by 6. Okay? Now, I would prefer to always multiply both sides by a positive number. So I'm just going to keep the number that I'm multiplying by positive for now. But as you can see, when we multiply this term right here, 4 times 6 will get negative 24. 6 times negative 4 will get negative 24. And then we can have the variable drop out. Okay? So that's exactly what we want. So basically, I took the 4, put it here, took the 6, put it here. And now you'll see it will work. Okay, distributing the 4, 4 times negative 6y is negative 24y. 4 times positive 11x is positive 44x. Keep your equal sign. 4 times negative 36, that's going to be a negative 144. Okay. Now for the bottom equation, distribute the 6. 6 times negative 4y is negative 24y. 6 times 7x is 42x. And 6 times negative 24 is going to be negative 144, I think. Negative 120, yes, negative 144. Okay. So the reason we distribute this, when you multiply both sides by the same number, you have to multiply that by each term that's added or subtracted. Okay? So now we have these two equations here. All right? And because we have negative 24y and negative 24y, I am going to subtract these two equations. Subtract the bottom one from the top one. Okay? So negative 24y minus negative 24y is just 0. 44x minus 42x is just 2x. And negative 144 minus negative 144 is just 0. Okay, you can ignore this. Dividing both sides by 2, we can see that x equals 0. Okay, so you want to take that x and plug it in. All right, you can plug it into either one. Okay, so I'll do it in a different color. I'll plug in x equals 0 in the top one right here. Okay, so I'm going to put a 0 right in there. All right. And plugging in x equals 0, we have negative 6y plus 11 times 0, which is just 0, equals negative 36. Okay, so we can ignore the 0. Solving for this, divide both sides by negative 6. Cancels here. Negative 36 over negative 6 equals positive 6. So y equals positive 6. Okay, and you enter these numbers in the box. So x equals 0 and y equals positive 6. Okay, so this one's a little bit easier. We have our two equations, and I can see that 12 is 3 times more than 4. So I'm just going to multiply this one here by 3. So I'll have 3 times 4 is 12. All right. So 3 times 4x is, I'll write it right here, 12x. 3 times negative 9y is negative 27y. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And of course, 3 times 0 is just 0. Okay? So since I have 12x and 12x, I am going to subtract these two equations. Okay, 12x minus 12x is just 0. Negative 27 minus negative 5. Remember, the two negatives make it positive, so it's negative 27 plus 5. So it's going to be a negative 22y. And negative 6 minus 38 is going to be a negative 44. And that equals 0. All right, 0 minus 0. All right, so adding 22y to both sides. Negative 22 and positive 22 cancels. And we get negative 44 equals 22y. All right, dividing both sides by 22. Negative 44 over 22 equals negative 2. So y equals negative 2. All right, you take that negative 2 and you plug it in. You can plug it into either equation. Okay, so I'm going to plug in y equals negative 2 right there. All right, so rewriting, we have 4x, negative 9 times negative 2, minus 2 equals 0. Okay, 4x, this is positive 18, minus 2 is positive 16. And subtracting 16 from both, you bring down your 4x. That equals negative 16. Dividing both sides by 4, x is negative 4. Okay, and we said y was negative 2. So you just enter those numbers in the box. Okay, last one. Like I said, the goal is to get the coefficients to match. Regardless if they're positive or negative, at least get the coefficients to match, and then you can add or subtract them. All right? Here we can see 9 is 3 times more than 3. So I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 3. All right? So 3 times negative 3y. 3 times positive 10x, and 3 times positive 31. And of course, 3 times 0 is just 0. And rewriting the top one, okay, so the coefficients match, negative 9 and negative 9, so I am going to subtract. All right, negative 9y minus negative 9y is 0. 4x minus 30x is negative 26x. Negative 11 minus 93 is going to be negative 104. And 0 minus 0 is 0. Okay, adding 26x to both. It cancels here. And negative 104 equals 26x. Dividing both sides by 26. This is going to be a negative 4. Okay, so you want to take that and plug it in. All right, I'll just do it in a different color here. Take the negative 4, x equals negative 4, plug it in right there. So this equation becomes negative 9y plus 4 times negative 4 minus 11 equals 0. All right. So we still have negative 9y. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Minus 11 is negative 27. Okay, adding 27 to both sides. We have negative 9y. This cancels. Equals 27. And dividing both sides by negative 9, y equals negative 3. So you just enter these numbers in the boxes. X is negative 4, and y is negative 3. All right. So to sum it up, you want to multiply either one equation or both equations, so you get the coefficients to match on one of the variables. Then you can add or subtract them and have one of the variables drop out. Solve for one, and when you do that, you plug in that one variable in either equation and solve for the other.